In this video, I'm gonna be going over 5 different Google Ads tips that will help explode sales for your e-commerce brand. Some of these are tips which I have never ever mentioned before, so make sure to watch this video until the end. But with that, tip number 1, reverse engineer your competitors with the new My Ad Center. Now, what I'm referring to is this. Anytime you do a Google search for one of your products, let's say you want to do competitor research for the keyword table lamp because you sell table lamps. If you scroll all the way down, you will start to see these Google sponsored search ads. What you want to do with this first tip, or rather a hack, is to go ahead and click these 3 little dots that come up when you hover over that specific URL for that store, and something like this will pop up, which is called My Ad Center. This is one of Google's newest additions, which makes it extremely easy to now do competitor research. Right at the top, you'll start to see some important information outlined, such as about this advertiser. The advertiser is Lamps Plus, and their location is within the United States. It will also give you information of why you're seeing this ad, which by the way is very important for you to understand, because now this will give you an idea of what Google is looking for when it decides which ad to show which user. Things such as the estimation of your approximate current location to the ad itself, if it's like local retail store, the estimation of your areas of interest based on your activity. This is something Google really takes into account, the estimation of relevant locations and the current search term, which obviously is very important. Taking this a bit further, if you click this little clickable link right here, which says see more ads, it will now take you to another page which will show you a whole list of ads this brand is running. You can change the time period of when you want to look at, basically looking at specific time period, like within the last 30 days, what ads have been running, or just in general, what ads they have been running as a whole. And you can change the specific country as well to which you want to see. It looks like they're only advertising within the United States only. And we're going to go ahead and change this back right here to United States. Along with that, there are just so many different things that you can also look at, such as the formats that they're running the ads in. Is it an image ad, or is it a text ad, or is there any types of video ads? So YouTube ads, for example. And it does look like Lamps Plus has some video creatives going on at the moment too, which is going really in depth into competitor analysis. If you scroll down, you'll see all of these ads coming up. And if you click on it, it will make it bigger, but that's pretty much it. You can't really do anything else. And it will show you one important thing, which is the last shown date. And this is important because it lets you know if this ad is currently running right now or not. But with that, let's move on to tip number 2, which is YouTube shopping ads. And it now says that you can show your products with your video ads. So if you have been looking to expand into YouTube ads, this is the perfect time, because now, along with those video ads, you can actually connect your product feed to the campaign itself, as it tells you right here, and you can actually make the product browsable product imagery right below the ad itself. So the way it works, and you can find more information here, is basically when a user sees your video ad, they can click a little button to automatically expand them to now showcase all the products there. And it's individual products, similar to what you see with shopping ads, because you can click on that individual product to go to that product's landing page for more information. Tip number 3, create multiple conversion tracking methods. Now, this is something that nobody really ever does. They only focus on creating that one conversion tracking method, setting it as primary or setting it as secondary, and then letting the Google Ads campaigns use that conversion tracking code to become smarter. That is now the old method to do things. The new method is implementing multiple conversion tracking codes. And the best way to do that is by going on over to tools and settings, and under measurements, going to conversion. And if we see right here, there's currently only 2 different conversion tracking actions installed for this website. We are in the process of installing more, but at any given time, there should only be one primary conversion optimization. The other ones that you do end up adding, it should be secondary. And the way you want to do this, it's fairly simple. Every brand new conversion kind of optimization method that you do use, and I'm just going to use this one as an example, the only thing you want to be changing with these is the attribution model. That's the only thing that gets changed. Everything else stays the same. And the reason why we do this is every attribution model is different, and the accounts operate differently based on each attribution model. So the main purpose of only having one as primary and the rest as secondary is so that you can be able to monitor directly on that page what the conversion amounts are for each attribution model. Because again, last click works differently from first click versus linear, so on and so forth. Now, I do understand that you could do the same exact thing by going on over to measurements and attribution and look at that data, but I prefer to have all of that data easily accessible right on the conversion page, because just like it's happening right here, we can see that during the time period of June 1 to June 30th, there's a big discrepancy between what Google's conversion tracking says and what Google Analytics says. So that is one of the best things you can be doing right now in 2023 and onwards, because after about 30 days to 60 days worth of data or over $10,000 worth of ad spend within that account, you will be able to compare those different attribution models very closely, and you'll be able to understand how each of them are performing, which one is then most accurate to your situation. The best way to do this is just go in the back end of your Shopify store and look at that data to then compare to these different attribution models. This directly brings me to tip number 4, which is do not run performance max campaigns and search campaigns together. This is one of the worst things you can do, because a performance max campaign, if you run it like the normal way where majority of the people insert a bunch of assets within, that alone turns that PMax campaign into a search campaign, into a display campaign, into a discovery campaign. That really kind of defeats the purpose of that performance max campaign, and it also makes it more likely that you start competing against yourself if you launch more search campaigns or if you launch more display campaigns, so on and so forth. So what I mean by this is, if you go on now over to your asset group section within your PMax campaign, and first of all, you can see here for these PMaxes, we do not have any asset groups chosen, but maybe for the other PMaxes, if I look really quick inside this one, there are certain asset groups chosen, and this one also doesn't, but let me go ahead and find one where there is assets. So I found this asset group where we're actually testing assets versus a feed only campaign to really test both results, which by the way, feed only is what I recommend, but majority of the e-commerce brand owners, what they do is they just have one asset group with a bunch of different images, logos, headlines, long headlines, etc. And when you add all of these things in, now your PMax campaign becomes a YouTube campaign, as it shows right here. It becomes a Gmail campaign, it becomes a discovery campaign, it becomes a retargeting campaign. All these different placements your ad also starts showing up for. Your assets should be kept separate, as they can interfere with these external campaigns, and you want to just make that performance max campaign run as a shopping only campaign. And the way to do that is by just not adding any images, not adding any assets. I've covered this in a lot of my other videos which I've gone over. Let's move on now to the final tip I have for you guys, which is using your Google Merchant Center now with all of its newest additions to analyze your results and your overall growth. So if we go on over now to a Google Merchant Center account, what I'm referring to is the different kind of things which Google Merchant Center has added in. Things such as price competitiveness, things such as bestsellers program. All these things now give you the opportunity to dive deeper into Google's algorithm and really understand what they're qualifying as bestsellers, what the cost is of your competitors' products versus yours, and how you rank. Or even things like these where you go under performance and look at the dashboard, you're now able to see a wide variety of different kinds of tabs here, such as overview section of all of your products, if your ads are generating results and clicks, or if it's the organic traffic that's getting you most of the results, or if you go on over to products, what the overall results are and what the overall demand is for each individual product, and much more. These are just things which the Google Merchant Center recently added, and one of the easiest ways to explode your sales is by taking a deep dive into these metrics, understanding how your brand, how your product compares to all of the other similar products and similar competitors, and then improve your own approach. I mean, if we look right here, it's even telling you what brands are gaining popularity, so you can do further competitor research, the top selling products on Google, why they're the top selling, etc. And also look into your own products, if your products are out of stock, or any specific brand you sell, and what the popular brand is in that situation, the promotions you're running, if any of those promotions are leading to sales or not, non-product website results such as the clicks, impressions, CTRs, etc. There's so much juicy information you could be deriving from the Google Merchant Center now, and that is one of the easiest ways to explode your sales. But again, if you're doing $40,000 or more per month in revenue, you need just a little bit of extra help scaling your brand to the next level. Go out to my website at eomarketing.com and book a free call with me to see how we can potentially work together and make that happen. But I want you to watch this video right here on how to triple your ROAS with Google Ads by doing certain tweaks and tricks that work regardless of the niche your brand is in.